Hmm. Well then, I think it's safe to say that BrawlR blew up. Is that the Roblox Dead by Daylight game? Weird. Anyways, BrawlR itself is a Roblox game that was first thought up, created, whatever that date on Roblox actually means, on 26th of July 2024. It is stated in its description to be inspired by Rivals of Ether and Smash 64. More than it should, but that's for a different time. The game itself is a platform fighter, as should be made apparent by the inspirations, and somehow stands at a relatively abysmal 71% as of writing. It's based around that classic Roblox aesthetic I know we all love, that's been shoved in our faces for at least 67 times at this point, and frankly, I'm starting to get a bit tired. Now, of course, the game itself has 5 characters. The first 2 that I'll talk about are Noob and Clockwork. They're both brawler type characters, with short range projectiles and generally with stubby attacks. Epic Duck is the game's sort of heavyweight zoner and is the only one with a projectile that actually goes somewhere further than like 2 yards in front of him. Telemon is a sword fighter who also has a pretty neat like sword changing gimmick. The newest character, whose name is Donald McGillifry, is basically just Telemon, but he's worse, but he has a projectile. If you're wondering who I'm gonna main, it's Clockwork. I like playing BrawlR, and he's pretty similar. The game takes most of its stage design and soundtrack from the 2010s, 2000s, like internet Roblox zeitgeist. So there's like Bake a Cake, there's Crossroads, I think there's like a Caramel Dancer remix in there, you know, the works. And while I think overall the game is good, I'd say that one thing that definitely needs improving is the gameplay. For starters, the game just controls really laggy and weird. Now I know that I live in the middle of yeehaw nowhere, but sometimes the game's ping will just spike to the roof and then land somewhere in Myanmar. Now I know that this is more of a Roblox issue than a Roblox like this game issue, but seriously though, like I've had games where I get 70 ping on average that just casually King Crimsons to me walking off the stage 3 times. But you know what? It's still Roblox. Netcode has always been G-tier. On a more actual design critique, there's no air dodges. Now I get that this game was based on Smash Bros. Before it became the Hawk's Wet Dream, and the first game was really combo heavy, but sometimes when you go against these people who like know the game inside and out, you just start praying to God, Telemon, who cares, that those air dodges will come back. Something I also found very weird was the omission of dash attacks, but it really doesn't matter because every single character -1 has like a burst movement option, and they all function the exact dang, well, not exactly the same, but they are pretty dang similar, which frankly leads me into what is personally one of my biggest issues with the gameplay. It's too dang similar. Every character gets a short range projectile for their neutral special, minus Telemon. Obviously their grab games feel pretty similar. Their up specials, I can like kinda see why they made them all basically function the exact same, minus Telemon's, with some like changes to where hitboxes are, they are there, the damage, wells, for obvious reasons. Like most of the normal attacks can basically be separated into fists, swords basically, minus Epic Duck, he's kind of weird. The down specials themselves are like the only time where it actually varies, except for Telemon. You get something that's like barely even like down air. And like another issue I have with this game is that some of the animations just feel stiff. Like not even like 2000s Roblox stiff, just weird. Telemon's up smash, I thought I screwed up like inputting it the first 50 times I did it. You know you screwed up on a character when their up tilt feels like way stronger than their up smash with similar frame data. And another thing that puzzled me is that like on a lot of these stages, the platform was like outside swiping range of like most of the characters, which is kind of weird because I feel like a major part of Smash's gameplay design was that most of the platforms were in spitting distance. To be fair, the controls went not screwed over by the fact that you're on Roblox and netcode is well, this might be a bit politically incorrect, but 8. It controls pretty fine. One thing I will never get over is that stupid practice mode that you have to jump through all these flaming hoops and tigers and private servers just to get to, when it should be in the extras button that you can get to in a public server. What's the point of having an extras button there if it's not for the training mode? I get the game's in alpha or whatever, but come on, at least like put some construction tape over that extras button if there's not going to be anything there. And while getting footage for this video, I realized that they temporarily removed the 1v1 mode in a fighting game, but they added it back so everything's fine. Despite my very disjointed rant about the gameplay, I think everything else is done just peachy. I think if this game had gameplay that didn't completely like was off, it'd be like one of the best games on the platform. Simple as that. I feel like the UI, though a little unfinished, is solid, gets the point across, and looks very neat without being too complicated. The stages themselves, when I'm not bringing up how those platforms are placed in space, are designed pretty well and look nice. I think the game captures the Nintendo 64 style it's going for pretty well. No way looks like they shouldn't be here, which is a good sign, but they don't look like exact clones of each other, minus Clockwork and New, but oh well, they'll BrawlR characters, I guess. And the game's music, which you are hearing in the background right now, is composed fairly well. As I mentioned, it's mostly just remixes of old Roblox cracks, and stuff from that general internet era. And the remixes, they aren't an OST, who cares, they're done pretty dang well, I'd say. The announcer isn't too obtrusive, and his voice is just nice, and it's nice to hear him talk about stuff, I guess. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm much less impassioned about everything else as I am for the gameplay, which is well, it's a good sign and a bad sign, really. The skins themselves look pretty good, and I feel like the Forsaken collab was a pretty good idea to bump up the player numbers, because I feel like this game deserves to have more players. And yeah, that's basically it. I feel like the game overall is a well-crafted game with some solid visuals, some good designs for characters, but I feel like the gameplay itself just hampers the entire experience. Not to the point of being absolutely unplayable trash, but it feels like the gameplay is 2 steps behind everything else. It just kinda hurts, but overall, not a bad game. Go try it.